G'day, hi, and welcome to the Beater Express, the truck of trucks. This truck is a legend in its own time. It's the most popular legend nobody's ever heard of. This is a 1987 Ford Ranger, and this plate says it all. I've traveled many miles in this. This is my dad's truck. I drove it a few times. I never drove it on the road because I didn't have my license. But pretty much since I was a teenager, this truck has been pretty much doing what it does, and that is work. But this truck is completely done. Now, there's literally 3 trucks here. The chassis is sitting on, the original truck was this truck, okay? And the body's long gone on it. It's back in the field somewhere. And the box was gone on this truck, so we put the box off of this truck, which was actually not too bad when we got it. And then we took the frame and the engine, which is a 6-banger in there. And I bet you this thing would probably still start if I tried, but it's completely rusted through everywhere. It's too bad. This truck was pretty cool. I'm going to see if I can actually pop the hood. Oh my God, it did. So I nearly got fish hooked. You know it's a truck when you got a fish hook on the radio. But look at how Spartan it is in here. You know. I want to tell you something about these trucks. Why I like these old Ford Rangers so much. Look at this. No carpet. Okay. This is a utilitarian truck. Yeah, you got to roll up the doors. You know. This is the type of truck that you buy and you work it. You could throw motor oil all over the inside of this thing and not care. The seats, yeah. When they were new, you could wipe them off with a frickin' oil rag and it would still be fine. It would stain a bit here, but you didn't care, right? You got that. Yeah, this truck's too far gone. It's on its 3rd motor. It was originally a 4-cylinder automatic. Now it's a 6-speed high-range, low-range, or 4-speed high-range, low-range 6-cylinder. 4-wheel drive. Not high-range, low-range, but 4-wheel drive. 4-wheel, 2-wheel. And this truck worked very hard. We had, just picture gravel, full of wet gravel, stones and everything, up like probably about 3 tons, 4 tons of freaking gravel there. And this thing would still pull it forever and a day. Great little truck. I don't know what the mileage is on it. The original mileage would be, I can't even see that now. The original mileage. Oh, there's only 211 kilometers on it. That's it. This thing's like new. Good little wheel on it. I'm not going to sit in there. It's all full of cobwebs and spiderwebs. But I love the Spartan interior because it was so easy to maintain. However, a little cold in the winter until it got warmed up. But this truck had a pretty good heater. Everything in here was just utilitarian. You know, it was just meant to work. Nice, simple truck. Very reliable. I'll never look at that dash. I actually like the dash on this thing. I like the simplicity of it, right? Unfortunately, this truck will never be on the road again. It's too rusted out, which is really too bad, because if it wasn't, yes, I need a vehicle. I need a vehicle badly, and unfortunately, this truck, yeah, it's too far gone. It would never pass a safety. So, but one thing that was cool about this truck is it sat here for years and years and years. Okay, about 6 years it sat here. My dad came out one day, just out of curiosity, to see if I can get this hood up, to see if it would start. And the gas in it is about 6 years old. Basically, put the battery in it, it wouldn't start. And, oh, is that it? Hang on. It's supposed to be under here. Yeah, maybe that might take 2 hands to do that. But anyway, it sat here for about 6 years. And, oh, there we go. It had old gas in it. Okay. And where's the starter solenoid? It's, anyway, wherever the starter solenoid is there. Basically, put a pair of pliers across it. And it fired right up. Didn't even hesitate. It was just, yeah, okay, it's running again. And that's with 6-year-old gas in it, and it ran. And yeah, it was a pretty cool truck. Yeah, but you see it's too rusted out on the firewall, and I forget what went on this. I think it blew a valve or a head gasket or something. lot of. It's worn out. It owes us nothing. But yeah, it was a fun truck. Easy to work on. I mean, look, you can reach everything. Yeah, you got to get a bit of a step ladder, but yeah, you can reach just about everything in it. And yeah, this truck will be going for scrap someday. Even the oil changes weren't too bad. It's kind of a high truck for what it is, but yeah, I'm not going to stand out here in this 35-degree weather too long. But yeah, that's the engine. Old Ford Ranger. If you could, they just don't make them like they used to. This truck was designed. It's kind of like the equivalent of. Hang on. The Chevy, the little, oh my god, where'd all the flies come from? The little Chevy Chevette, right? If you've ever seen those things, it's along that lines of simplicity to keep it running. So paper clips and shoestrings, you keep it running. Great little trucks. If you can find one in mint condition, buy it. It's the easiest truck to keep running. However, up here in Canada, what gets them is the rust. There was also working it as hard as that truck worked. Yeah, my God, where are these flies coming from? It's 35 degrees out. There's not supposed to be flies right now. I'll get to my car in a second. That's my first car technically. And then there's a road rage van. I'll end with the road rage van. That little Windstar thing or whatever, the Ventura. We'll cover that one next. So yeah, so this is the dilapidated truck review. But you know, I bet you if somebody had a lot of spare parts to throw on it, you could probably, I know you'd get it running again, no problem. That little 6-cylinder in there was actually pretty torquey. It was pretty cool in 4x4. You can't tell right now because the truck's kind of sunk in the ground, but it really had good clearance and stuff like that. I mean, you never had to jack it up to work under it unless you were taking a wheel off, right? You just roll right underneath and you wouldn't even hit your head. You know, like very, very, very utilitarian truck. Because they were so practical and made so much sense, they stopped making them like this. They had to add all kinds of electronic this and electronic that, and the days of the carburetor's gone. You know, miles per gallon, I can't remember what it got, but with that 6-cylinder, it was probably like a 20 mile per gallon truck. With the 4-cylinder, it probably wasn't that bad. Now this is back in the 90s. It was probably costing about $70 a week in gas to travel to town and back, which is about 60 miles or 100 kilometers. And that was at 45 cents a liter. So, give you an idea. It didn't have long-range tanks on this. So I don't know what the miles per gallon, but it was, for what it wasn't bad. Visibility is awesome on this thing. I mean, you could park this thing with a freaking, you know, if you had the tailgate down, you know, like you could park, you know, with a freaking sports car behind you, you wouldn't hit it. It's just you could see so well. You're up so nice and high. The new truck my dad has, or newer truck, is basically the evolution of this truck, the Ford Ranger series, but it's in a different brand. So the MB40, I'll do that truck last because that's actually running. This is kind of where those trucks, that competitive, yes, we're talking a totally different brand, but when I get to that truck, you'll understand why it's a lineage of an F-150, because basically it's the same body and frame as the S-150. They just put a different grille on it, different brand, and a different motor in it, but it's basically a Ford Ranger. So this is the old ones. We'll look at the new ones later. I don't know if I can get into my car. I got in there the other day, and I know exactly what's wrong with it, and we'll do that car next. So there we go.